Now we shall study the hydrolysis of salts. Before moving on to the concept of hydrolysis, first we need to study which are the four types of salts. So below here is the list of four types of salts. The first one is the salts which are derived from strong acid and strong base. So by now you all know what is the meaning of strong acid, strong base, and also the meaning of weak acid and weak base. Strong acid or strong base is the one which is going to undergo complete dissociation, right? Whereas weak acids or bases are the ones which are going to dissociate partially. So this is the difference between the both. Let us now study the first type of salt, the salt which is derived from strong acid and strong base. So you know, when an acid and base is going to combine, it is going to produce a salt. So the acid and base that you are going to take here, both should undergo complete dissociation. That is, both should be strong acid, as in you have to take a strong acid and a strong base. So examples they have given here is NaCl, Na2SO4, NaNO3, KCl, KNO3, that is sodium chloride, sodium sulfate, sodium nitrate, potassium chloride and potassium nitrate. The next are the salts which are derived from strong acids and weak base. So again you are going to take a acid and a base which is going to produce a salt. But what is the condition here? The acid should be strong and the base should be weak. Okay, so the examples of salts which are produced are ammonium chloride, copper sulfate, ammonium nitrate and copper chloride. The next salts are derived from weak acids and strong base. So now you have to take acid which is weak and base which is strong, and hence after that the salts which are produced are sodium acetate, potassium cyanide and sodium carbonate. The last ones are the salts which are derived from weak acids and weak bases. So now the acid and the base that you are going to take are weak, okay, and the salts which are produced are ammonium acetate and ammonium cyanide respectively. Now we are going to study these four types of salts in detail. We know that when a salt is mixed with water, it is going to undergo complete dissociation. That means when the reaction takes place between salt and water, the products that are formed there, they are nothing but splitting up of their constituent ions. Let us take an example of water. We know that water is used as a solvent, and we also know that it does not undergo complete dissociation. It dissociates partially. So let us now look at the reaction to explain the same. It is known to us that pure water is neutral, right? That is, it has a pH of 7. Now when you say neutral, what is the condition? The molar concentration of hydronium ions, which is nothing but H plus ions, is equal to the molar concentration of OH minus ions. This is what we have studied in the previous video. So when the ions of the salts, they do not react with water, then the amount of hydronium ions, that are H plus ions, and the amount of hydroxyl ions, those are the OH minus ions, remain equal, and hence you say that the solution is neutral. Now what will happen if the ions of the salt react with water? If ions of the salt react with water, then the concentration or the amount of OH minus ions and H3O plus ions, that is hydronium ion, is going to get disturbed. Okay, and depending upon the salt, it will be classified as acidic or basic. If the amount of hydronium ion is more, then it will be acidic, of course, and if the amount of OH ions is more, then it is going to be basic. Such a reaction between ions of salt and ions of water is called as hydrolysis of salt. So how are you going to define hydrolysis of salt? Hydrolysis of salt is defined as the reaction in which cations or anions or both ions of a salt reacts with ions of water to produce acidity or alkalinity. Alkalinity is nothing but basic solution or sometimes even neutrality. Now, let us study the first type of salt, the salts which are obtained from strong acids and strong base. Here we are taking the example of NaCl, that is sodium chloride. We know that sodium chloride is a salt and it is formed by the combination of strong acid, which is HCl, and strong base NaOH. And we know that when we add salt in water, it is going to dissociate completely into its constituent ions, and the reaction is, so you can see here NaCl is the salt. It is splitting up into its constituent ions Na plus Cl minus. The constituent ions, that is Na plus and Cl minus ions produced here, they have no tendency to react with water. That is, even if they react with water, then they are going to form HCl and NaOH, which are strong electrolytes, and of course they are going to undergo dissociation. Now, if we take this NaOH and HCl and again react with water, then we know that one H of HCl is going to move to the water molecule, giving you H3O. NaOH is going to split up as Na plus OH minus, and HCl, the one H which went to water to give the formation of hydronium ion, and it was left with Cl minus ion. So if you observe the two reactions, if we look at the first reaction, we are taking the constituent ions, that is Na plus and Cl minus, and reacting it with water, which gave us the formation of NaOH and HCl, which is a strong base and strong acid. In the second reaction, we are taking NaOH, HCl, and again reacting with water, and it is giving us the splitting up of ions, that is Na plus Cl minus H3O plus OH minus ions. So if you observe the two reactions, in the first reactions we take the two constituent ions, or the cation and the anion, that is Na plus and Cl minus, and we react it with water, and we get NaOH and HCl, which is a strong base and a strong acid. In the second reaction, we are taking the strong base and strong acid and again reacting with water, which gives us the dissociation of Na plus OH minus plus Cl minus plus H3O plus. So basically, if you observe both the reactions, the reactants that are used and the products that are formed are similar. No new product is formed here. Also, the number of H3O plus ions and the number of OH minus ions are equal. That is, molar concentration of H3O plus ions is equal to the molar concentration of OH minus ions. That is, you have one H3O plus ion and one OH minus ion. Hence, according to this condition, it is a neutral solution. Okay. So from above, we can conclude that salt of strong acid and strong base do not undergo hydrolysis, which means the ions of the salt, whether cation or anion, does not react with water to produce any new product. Now we move on to the next type of salts, that is salts of strong acids and weak bases. Here we are taking the example of copper sulfate. Copper sulfate is a salt which is formed by a strong acid H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid, and weak base, that is CuOH twice copper hydroxide. Let us now see the formation of copper sulfate salt. So this is how CuSO4 is formed. We know that CuSO4 will split up as Cu2 plus SO4 2 minus. Now if you react this CuSO4 with water, you will see that SO4 minus will react with the H plus ions of water, giving you the formation of H2SO4, and H2SO4 is a strong electrolyte. So here SO4 minus have no tendency to react with water. Here Cu2 plus ions react with the OH minus ions of water, which gives the formation of unionized molecule, that is CuOH twice. Let us look at the reaction. In this reaction, you will observe that the amount of H3O plus ions, that is hydronium ions, which is nothing but your H plus ions, they are more in number. Hence, the resulting copper sulfate solution is going to be acidic in nature. And we know that an acid solution turns blue litmus red. The copper hydroxide that is formed in the reaction, it makes the solution turbid as in it forms a white color solution. So if you want to make a clear solution, then you have to add H2SO4, that is nothing but sulfuric acid, means you are adding H3O plus ions. So when you add H2SO4, what is going to happen? The white color is going to now become transparent, or you can change the color from white to transparent. So from the above, you can conclude that salts of strong acids and weak bases are acidic in nature. Now we move on to the salts of weak acids and strong bases. Here we are taking the example of sodium acetate. So let us now see how the salt sodium acetate is formed. We take a weak acid, that is acetic acid, CH3COOH, and a strong base NaOH, and hence it results in the formation of sodium acetate. The sodium acetate that is formed, it undergoes complete dissociation as follows. We know water dissociates partially as follows. Now if we look at the solution of sodium acetate means sodium acetate dissolved in water. So we know that this solution is going to have CH3COO minus ions, it is going to have Na plus ions, it is going to have H3O plus ions, and also OH minus ions. The Na plus ions of the salt here are not going to react, or they do not have the tendency to react with OH minus ions of water, because even if the reaction takes place, the possible product is going to be NaOH, and again it is a strong electrolyte which is going to dissociate completely. Here the reaction of CH3COO minus along with water is going to give you the formation of acetic acid, that is CH3COOH plus OH minus ions. Now the acetic acid formed here is a weak acid and it is not going to dissociate completely. How is the acetic acid formed? One atom of H from H2O goes to CH3COO group. Let us now study the equilibrium reaction for the formation of sodium acetate. So we take sodium acetate and react it with water, and the resultant product is acetic acid along with Na plus and OH minus ions. Since you can observe in the reaction OH minus ions are produced, hence the solution of sodium acetate is going to be basic in nature. The last type of salt is salts of weak acids and weak bases. So here we are going to take a weak acid HA and a weak base BOH. Hence after the reaction it is going to produce Ba, which is the salt, along with water. The salt Ba produced here will undergo complete dissociation as B plus plus A minus. If you take the constituent ions, that is B plus and A minus, and if you react it with water, you will get the formation of a weak acid and a weak base. Hence the solution may be acidic, basic, or neutral depending upon the relative strengths of the weak acids and weak bases. There are three criteria that will help you to identify whether a solution is going to be acidic, basic, or neutral. If the acid dissociation constant is greater than the base dissociation constant, then the solution is acidic. If the base dissociation constant is greater than the acid dissociation constant, then the solution is basic. And when the acid dissociation constant is equal to the base dissociation constant, then the solution is going to be neutral. Ka is the acid dissociation constant and Kb is the base dissociation constant. Let us now study the three criteria in detail. First, let us start with the first case, that is the acid dissociation constant is greater than the base dissociation constant, that is Ka is greater than Kb. Here we are taking the example of NH4F, that is ammonium fluoride. Ammonium fluoride is a salt which is formed by the combination of a weak acid HF, hydrofluoric acid, and a weak base ammonium hydroxide, that is NH4OH. Let us now see how the reaction takes place. So the HF, that is the hydrofluoric acid, is going to react with the weak base NH4OH to give you the salt NH4F, that is ammonium fluoride, along with water. Here, the acid dissociation constant of weak acid HF is found to be 7.2 into 10 raised to minus 4. So, Ka is equal to 7.2 into 10 raised to minus 4. The base dissociation constant of NH4OH, that is ammonium hydroxide, is 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 5. So the value of Kb is equal to 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 5. So it is clearly visible that the acid dissociation constant is greater than the base dissociation constant. The salt which is formed here, ammonium fluoride, will undergo complete dissociation as follows. So NH4F, that is ammonium fluoride, is going to split up as NH4 plus ion, which is the cation, plus F minus ion, which is the anion. Now let us see how the salt hydrolysis reaction takes place. Salt hydrolysis means you are going to take NH4F along with water. Let us now see how the reaction is going to take place. So you take NH4 plus cation and F minus anion and treat it with water. So on hydrolysis it is going to give you NH4OH plus HF. Now NH4OH is the weak base, whereas HF is the weak acid. The weak acid HF that is formed here is going to be slightly stronger when you compare it with the weak base NH4OH, because we know that the acid dissociation constant is having a greater value when you compare it with the base dissociation constant. Now we are going to take the individual cation and the anion, that is NH4 plus and F minus, and treat it with water. So the hydrolysis reaction for the same looks like as follows. So first we are taking NH4 and treating it with water. So it is going to yield us NH4OH along with H3O plus ions. And we know that H3O plus ions are nothing but your acidic component. Now the reaction of F minus, that is the anion, with water is as follows. So 1H from the water molecule is going to react with F to give the formation of weak acid HF along with OH minus ions. It is observed that NH4 plus dissociates slightly to a greater extent when you compare it to the F minus ions. Now, why is it so? Because if you observe the first reaction, you see there is formation of H3O plus ions, and H3O plus ions means the acidic component, whereas in the second reaction you see the formation of OH minus ions, which is the basic components. And what is our case? Ka is greater than Kb. We know that the acid dissociation constant has a greater value, right? So here the first reaction, the dissociation is going to be slightly greater when you compare it with the second reaction. Hence you say that this solution of NH4F salt is going to be acidic in nature, and we know the acid solution turns blue litmus red. Now we move on to the next case, where is the base dissociation constant is greater than the acid dissociation constant. Here we are taking the example of NH4CN, that is ammonium cyanide, which is a salt formed by a weak acid HCN, that is hydrogen cyanide. The IUPAC name is formonitrile, and weak base NH4OH. Let us now see how the salt ammonium cyanide is formed by the action of weak acid and weak base. So here the NH4 plus ions of NH4OH are going to react with the Cn minus ions of HCN to give you the salt NH4CN. The acid dissociation constant of weak acid HCN is 4.0 into 10 raised to minus 10, and the base dissociation constant of weak base NH4OH is 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 5. So if we look at the values of Ka and Kb, we can see that Ka is much smaller than Kb, because if you look at the raised to power of 10, Ka is having the power 10 raised to minus 10, so it is going to be a smaller value when you compare it with 10 raised to minus 5. Hence here Ka is very small when you compare it with Kb. The salt NH4CN formed here is going to undergo complete dissociation as follows. That is, NH4CN will split up as NH4 plus Cn minus. Let us now see the hydrolysis reaction of the salt NH4CN. Now when I say hydrolysis, that means you are going to combine the salt along with water. So NH4 plus Cn minus is going to react with water to give you NH4OH plus HCN, which is nothing but the weak acid and the weak base. Here the weak base NH4OH is going to slightly dissociate greater when you compare it with the weak acid, because we know the base dissociation constant is more here when you compare it with that of acid. Now we are going to take the individual cation and anion and treat it with water to check the hydrolysis reaction. So the first one, we are taking NH4 plus and reacting it with water. So we get NH4OH plus H3O plus ions. Now NH4OH is the weak base and H3O plus ion is the acidic component. Now when you carry out the hydrolysis reaction between Cn minus ions and with water, you will get the formation of weak acid HCN along with OH minus ions. Here the H plus of water combines with Cn to form the weak acid HCN. Now if you recall the first case where your Ka was greater than Kb, Ka, that was the acid dissociation constant, so we took the H3O plus ions into count, right? Now here the case is Kb, that is the base dissociation constant is more when you compare it with the acid dissociation constant. So if you look at the third reaction, that is Cn plus H2O giving you HCN plus OH, then you can see the base component here OH. So in this case the Cn minus ions are going to dissociate greater or when you compare it with the NH4 plus ions. Also we know the value of Kb here is greater than the value of Ka. So the solution of NH4CN salt, that is ammonium cyanide salt, is going to be basic in nature and it is going to turn red litmus blue. So for the condition where Kb is greater than Ka, the solution has to be basic in nature. Now we move on to the last case where the acid dissociation constant is equal to base dissociation constant. Here the example of salt taken is ammonium acetate, that is CH3COONH4. Now this salt, that is ammonium acetate, is formed by using a weak acid, that is acetic acid CH3COOH, and a weak base NH4OH. Let us now see the formation of ammonium acetate from weak acid and weak base. CH3COOH is going to split up as CH3COO minus plus H plus, and NH4OH is going to split up as NH4 plus OH minus. CH3COO group having the negative sign will pair up with NH4 plus, forming the ammonium acetate, and the remaining is going to pair up giving you water. Here the acid dissociation constant, that is the value of Ka, is equal to 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 5, and the base dissociation constant is also having the same value, that is 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 5. We know that the salt ammonium acetate is going to undergo complete dissociation as CH3COO minus plus NH4 plus. When ammonium acetate is dissolved in water, it undergoes the process of hydrolysis as follows. So here you see you have the CH3COO minus ions. You're treating it with NH4 plus ions along with water, and we know water split up as H plus OH minus ions. So CH3COO having the negative sign will go with H plus ions, giving you CH3COOH, and NH4 plus with positive, hence it will go with the negative OH group, giving you NH4OH, which is a weak base. The next step is carrying out the process of hydrolysis for the cation NH4 plus, and the second step is carrying out process of hydrolysis, that is using water with the anion, that is CH3COO minus. First we are carrying out the reaction with CH3COO minus. So the water here is going to split up as H plus OH minus ions. So CH3COO being negative, it will go with the positive group, that is H plus, giving you the formation of weak acid CH3COOH along with OH minus, which is the basic component. The second reaction is reacting NH4 plus with water, which is going to give you NH4OH plus H3O plus, which are the hydronium ions, or you can say the acidic component. We know the case is the acid dissociation constant is equal to the base dissociation constant. So if you look at the second reaction here, you have one OH minus group, and if you look at the third reaction, you have one H3O plus group, that is one basic group and one acidic group. So in this reaction, CH3COO minus ions and NH4 plus ions are going to undergo dissociation at the same rate. Now in the second reaction, you will see one OH minus ion is produced, and in the third reaction, one H3O plus ion is produced. So the number of ions, basic and acidic ions produced, are equal, and hence the solution of ammonium acetate is going to be neutral in nature. Also we remember the case here, that is the acid dissociation constant is equal to the base dissociation constant. So always keep in mind, when Ka is greater than Kb, the solution is going to be acidic in nature. When Kb is greater than Ka, the solution is going to be basic, and when Ka is equal to Kb, the solution is going to be neutral in nature.